A city astride a wintry lake and twixt two mountains bides, grim Fallcrest where a subtle darkness hides. There's peril waiting for those about at night, lurking, snatching, binding, then out of sight, swift stowed, ere dawn's light. First, 3 prostitutes, their customers, 4 drunks. Next a fisher crew is snatched, their boat sunk. Worthless rats and junk, runs the Count's decree, deigning not to pay the poor folk's plight due heed, till comes a night which sees his daughter seized. Thus he finds his care, and offers great reward to any who'll dare the danger in which she and the rest are snared. For 2 long days charlatans plague his door, demanding payment first, else demanding more, a lengthy line of bores. The gaunt Count's stock of grief and piling stress grows great, but for a trice we leave him, for kindly fate sends through the river gate a bark bearing guests, down from the docks of Wolfgard to Fallcrest, amongst them 5 who may fain take this quest. 5 adventurers, roused from their chilly, tossing half-slumber below the deck, now disembark and gather on the cracking cobbles of Fallcrest's harbour, with no aim save to seek out ale and inter it within, till all blurs. First off the boat is Sir Merryweather, unwise armour for sailing bout him tethered, his ageing face weathered, one hand on his sword, his narrow eyes distant and seeming bored, a paladin of old, of a sort, no more. Brenlo Bronzebonce next, a fighting dwarf of mickle girth and jest, in moth-struck hose and hat and jerkin dressed, whistling as he stretches in the evening air, grinning at the thought of taverns and good fare, scorning travel's wear. Behind him, a seeming shadow slips by, a wisp in dark leathers, in swift seconds flies past the corners of eyes, never keeping still, lest some blackened corner he can fill, a taciturn rogue, known only as Phil. Fourth, a sullen warlock, his troll-spined staff in long, pale fingers locked, head bowed, eyes narrowed, scarcely taking stock of the city, nor of revelry to come. His horns and tail and robes draw glares from some, thus goes wraith, ever glum. Lastly steps forth their captain with a proud stride, human cheer and demon humour in her eyes, clad in steel and style of crimson blood and flame, a tiefling warrior adorned with fame, Charybdis she is named. Cold, sore, starved and thirsty, they do not tarry, but make haste through emptied streets and alleys, till a golden galley, most beloved of inns. Feasting, ale, music, rest, all lay within, as well as Archibald's famous home-brewed gin. They throw open the door, surprised by the sound of their feet on the floor in the scantily manned, all-too-quiet hall. Nervous patrons pay heed to windows, not their steins. Songs weren't sung, few called for gin, nor beer, nor wine. It was an evil sign.
"Archibald, what foolishness here do I see?"
Bronzebonce cries.
"Why such gloom instead of glee? What trouble plagues ye?"
The owner sighs and stalls, casting sad eyes over his inn's recent fall, before he downs a draught and tells them all. He tells of vanishings, how each night more folk are disappearing, and as to why, none have any inkling. "And I fear it's grown worse these past 2 eves. 80 now are taken, most fear to leave their homes whilst the stars gleam. The Count's own daughter has been snatched away. He'll give a princess's ransom if she's saved. Well, that's what they say."
"It seems we're needed, lads,"
Charybdis says, and only she is glad to have found work ere rest. Oft they think her mad.
"But first we're needed here. We can't leave the galley like this, without cheer. Archibald, bring back the players and bring beer! And all you mopers sat staring at your knees. When the music starts, sing of debauchery, or else I'll be displeased."
Against bitter odds, that earned her some laughs. All here knew Carrie. All well loved the mad, daft revelry she'd craft, and now, again, hers was the captaincy of the inn. And thus spurred were guests to joy, and gloom to fight, by her word. Song, laughter, toasts, shouts, sounds from the galley like sirens' calls reached out, and brought forth a few more brave souls from without. Carrie's crew joined in, save excess of drink. To Bonce's heartbreak, but all needed to think. Their wits must not shrink. The night wears on, drunk guests forget their fright. They stand with difficulty, slur good nights, and shamble by moonlight back to waiting homes. Carrie gives her men quiet command to go after each patron who leaves the inn alone. One man to one guest, alert and out of sight, they put to test the unwelcome nightly terror of Fallcrest. Neither Wraith's nor Brenlow's charges are harmed. From the dark places Phil marks only calm, till he hears drawn arms. Sir Merryweather follows the graceless gait of a man with unsteady legs and drooped pate.
The lamentable state.
He muses silently, ever one to judge immaturity.
For his own sake he should be pressed to serve at sea.
Then 6 figures descend. Dropping near silent from window panes, they send 3 of their number each way, after both men. The drunk notices naught till hands grab at him, but Merryweather's senses are not so dim. He holds fast, his eyes grim. With practised grace he draws his bastard sword, Hope's arm. It has known tyrants' throats and demons' maws.
Yield or be gored,
He calls to all 6, as the closest 3 draw forth blades from twixt the robes which covered them, long, slender picks. Too old, the voice speaks beneath a hood covering a face. A weak, ghostly armoured husk. Do you truly seek to smite us, old fool? The 3 spread out and sneer.
Too stringy, too skinny,
One says as he peers neath his hood and jeers.
no kind of feast for the queen.
Said the last. Kill him now, the first says, and kill him fast. Too much time has passed. The 3 spread out wide, and come at the knight lazily in a line with picks upraised, the heart or bowels set to find. Sir Merryweather steps back not 1 pace, but sprints to whither the rightmost villain foolishly dithers. In his advance he grabs and hurls him through the air at the middlemost brigand who receives him whilst he flew. A mess of limbs and curses sprawled on the floor. Both try to rise, but fall instead to the sword, and breathe no more. With an outraged call, the last one charges the old knight, and is stalled as Hope's arm's hilt strikes his gut, and he falls.
Too old? Too stringy?
Merryweather can't help but look slightly pleased. He points his sword at the prone throat.
Tell me, where have the others fled? Where will they take the man they grabbed? What evil do you make? Speak! Else death's hand shake.
Indeed, as he fought his fight, the last 3 had bound their victim and escaped unseen. At least that's what they deemed.
You think me afraid? Some weakling thug who'll quail beneath the blade? Old fool, I'll yet see your victory unmade.
One last vile grin. One hand takes a glass vial hid within the robe and hurls it at the paladin. First a hiss, then the steam, then comes the fire. In seconds Sir Merryweather is a pyre, and dies, shrieking his ire.